Hey, good evening. Happy 2026 USA, International Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. Also the tri-state areas of New Jersey and Connecticut and the five boroughs. This is your man and homie G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Rhymes with now or later. Your host with the most misunderstood, lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, content creator, um, and creator of the show, and of course, YouTuber and Queens, New York native, who's also a New York Mets fan and New York Giants fan from the neck of the woods of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And yes, you're now rocking with me by listening, tuning in, streaming, and watching the 151st episode of the entertainment review show Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast. And I got a lineup for, and I got a lineup full of fun topics for you today. First off, if you miss any episodes whatsoever, please feel free to click on that subscribe button on the YouTube channel page and alongside with the notification alerts so you be notified on when each video will be uploaded, and of course when I'll be on the air recording new live stream podcast episodes and stuff. And of course, leave a like and a comment along with the topics. Tell me how you feel about the topics by expressing yourself. And if you have any ideas on what particular movies and TV shows that I should go over, or any anything in anything in music or whatever case scenario, just drop it in the comments, or you could DM me on my Instagram, which is gmoneystacks555 in Queens, New York. All right. And don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on the Apple Podcast um page. It it leave a review, which really helps me out as the host. And make sure you share your feedback as far as you know positive comments. No hate, no hate comments, please. All right. So yeah, there you go, right there, though, man. And I hope y'all enjoyed your Christmas and your New Year's, watching the ball drop and everything else in between. And in case you didn't know, the fares went up on yesterday, from $2.90 to $3. And the people that's using Omni cards and using the phone and everything else, um, the price went from 34 to $35, which is fucking insane to me. It's fucking insane to me, man. But I'll express that in my comedy podcast. Um, and of course, you can subscribe to my other YouTube channel pages. Um, my sports YouTube channel page, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, and G Money Stats 555, where I record the episodes of the comedy off the Meat Rack Chainz New York Avenue podcast. Make sure you go check it out, subscribe, share. You can even download the episodes as well. You can listen to it while you're in your cars. Um, all that great stuff. And yes, do the same with this channel right here, which is on YouTube as well. And you can also listen on Apple Podcasts alongside with Spotify and other streaming platforms. You can even download the episodes as well. It'll probably help a lot and stuff. So So yeah, there you go, right there. Share with your friends, your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, um, your girlfriends, people you're cool with from work, and everything else. All right, so now that I got that out the way, um, what do you say? What do you say we go into a little thing that I like to call um hold on a second. Yeah, hold on a second. I don't know what's going on with my damn tablet. Um hold on. Just a minute. Hmm. All right, here we go. Um Here is music Kool-Aid. And this is the segment where I get what into music discographies of each music artist and a little bit of music news at the same time. So there you go right there. Let's do this. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. All right. By the way, that little extra sound effect was for the MTA, in case you didn't know about the fare hikes. All right. Let's get into let's get into J. Cole for a sec, actually, from um according to Hot New Hip Hop. Yes, J. Cole has been teasing the fall off for years, yet somehow fans have not been given any sort of indication of its release. J. Cole's last project, Mike Delete Later, came at a fascinating time for hip hop. It came out right before the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar reached its climax. The Like That verse had been out for a couple of weeks, and Cole wanted to flex his pen. Furthermore, he dropped the diss track 7 Minute Drill, which was ultimately deleted, leading to a much maligned apology at Dreamville Fest. Since that time, the Drake and Kendrick beef has rocked hip hop to its core. As for Cole, there are some who feel as though he completely botched the situation. Some fans felt as though it was some sort of performance art to promote the underlying themes of an album called The Fall Off. What we do know is that Cole has not dropped the album. It's been years since he first mentioned the words "the fall off," and now fans have been left waiting. According to Mal from the Rory and Mal podcast, there is a very good reason why Cole has yet to drop the project. Essentially, Cole had features from both Kendrick and Drake on the album. However, following the beef, no one is really rocking with each other, and it has forced Cole to re-record everything. Yes, Kendrick was on the album and Drake was on the album, Miles said. Well, was which is why we didn't get the album, because now he got to do his whole album over. And when is J. Cole dropping the fall off, you ask? As for when J. Cole will finally drop the fall off, at this point, we simply do not know. Cole has gone ghost on social media and doesn't seem eager to return anytime soon. It feels as though the artist is letting some of his contemporaries get their releases out of the way. ASAP Rocky is dropping Don't Be Dumb on January 16th, while Drake is going to be releasing Iceman in the new year. Once those projects are out of the way, perhaps it will give Cole some time, some runway to come through and drop the fall off. Whatever the case may be, fans are still hungry for new Cole music, and there is a hope that he will drop something sooner rather than later. All right, so next, what we have here is Conway the Machine. It's been a hot minute since we've seen any New York from the Buffalo Bomber, Conway the Machine. But it seems like he's ready to get back out there in the spotlight as comes through with some new material that's sure to get heads bopping and faces meme mugging. Dropping off some new visuals to BMG, the lyrical wordsmith becomes his own company as he spits to his jumble-sized twin, who joins him in the lyrical barrage that he drops on the masses. I guarantee you, I guarantee you want no beef with the smaller version of himself either, just saying. Back in Brooklyn, Fabio Foreign continues his comeback tour and for his clip to Big Drop 2.0. Double F hits the streets with his crew and thick young women who have no problem shaking their moneymakers and even letting some twins pop out their shirt. Gotta love the life of a rap star. Of course, you can check out the rest of today's drops and some joints you might have missed over the weekend, including work from The Baby, Young Buck, and more. And yes, so Conway the Machine has a video called BMG. Fabio Foreign, Big Drip 2.0, The Baby, Letter to My YN. Young Buck Still Rolling, 42 Doug featuring Lil Baby and Rilo Rodriguez. It is what it is. Um, and what is this? LIHTZ featuring YFN Lucci. Let You Go. KWN All the Girls. Tim's Mine. So there you go. You can check out those music videos on YouTube right now. And we got one more person to talk about, and that's Redman. And I believe his album is out right now. Very interesting. Um Redman continues his tour in Japan, and Ruben Vincent and Knife Wonder Kid and play with some female company today's daily visuals. Okay. Last time we saw Redman, he was out and about in the Far East, not to be confused with the East Coast. And while taking in the sights and lights of the nightlife in Japan, Reggie Noble seems to have enjoyed himself enough to drop a new music video in the land of the rising sun, dropping off some new visuals to Moneymaker. The Funk Doctor spot continues to blend amongst the locals of Japan as he walks through the streets with his crew while spitting his bars and showing the good people of Japan how Jersey gets down wherever they go. Wouldn't be surprised if he sold some bud while he was out there. Just saying. That's just not gonna happen, man. Like y'all gotta relax. Y'all gotta fucking relax. Um, Back in the U.S., Vincent, and Knife Wonder throw an exclusive get together on the block, and for this Wale assisted visuals to Get It Girl. The three artists put together an OG house party. Yeah, house party at a low key home where you need a password to get in, and the vibes are straight out the 90s. We love it. Of course, you can check out the rest of today's drops, including work from Shy Glizzy, Craig G, and D Row, and more. Hold on. All right, Redman's music video "Moneymaker" is out right now on YouTube, followed by Ruben Vincent and Knife Wonder, um, featuring Wale, Get a Girl, Shy Glizzy, Baddest Bitch in Town, and of course Craig G and D Rose sit it on the sit it on the chrome. IDK and Conductor Williams, Scary Mary, Hard Luck, Mistaken Identity, No Limit, TC, and Tech Nine Down. Um, Gina, How We Flow. You can check out those music videos on the YouTube channel pages. All right. So, um, all right. So we're gonna go under the seas to talk about the SpongeBob movie franchise. All right, and this is gonna be in this segment. Hang on one second here. Hang on one second here. Um, Hold on one second here. All right, here we go. The Chillax Man Cave Popcorn Lounge. Yes, under the seas we go to talk about the SpongeBob movie franchise and the TV show included. Now, um, let's get into this. All right, so the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is a 2004 American animated adventure comedy film based on the television series SpongeBob SquarePants, created by Steven Hillenburg, who co-wrote, co-produced, and directed the film. It stars the series' regular voice cast consisting of Tom Kenny, Bill Fagerbakke, Clancy Brown, Roger Bumpass. Oh man. Oh shit. Hold on. Yes, Roger Bumpass. Oh shit, that's so funny. Oh man, that shit is funny. Anyway, Mr. Lawrence, Jill Talley, Carolyn Lawrence, and Mary Jo Catlett, who are joined by Alec Baldwin, Scarlett Johansson, and Jeffrey Tambor, with David Hasselhoff appearing in live action as himself. In the film, Plankton enacts a plan to discredit his business rival, Mr. Krabs, steal the Krabby Patty secret formula, and take over the world by stealing King Neptune's crown and framing Mr. Krabs for the theft. SpongeBob and Patrick team up to retrieve the crown from Shell City to save Mr. Krabs from Neptune's wrath and save Bikini Bottom from Plankton's rule. And as you can see, the budget for this film. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'll get to the budget. Hillenburg accepted an offer for a film adaptation of SpongeBob SquarePants from Paramount Pictures in 2002. After turning it down multiple times the previous year, he assembled a team from the show's writing staff, including himself, Derek Dryman, Tim Hill, Kent Osborne, Aaron Springer, and Paul Tibbitt, and structured the film as a mythical hero's journey that would bring SpongeBob and Patrick to the surface. Originally intended to be the series finale of the show, the film marked the last time Hillenburg was showrunner before Tibbett took his place for over a decade. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie premiered at the Grauman's Chinese Theater on November 14, 2004, and was released in the United States on November 19th by Paramount Pictures. It received generally positive reviews and grossed $141 million worldwide on a $30 million budget. $30 million budget. Hmm. It is the first in a series of SpongeBob films, including Sponge Out of Water, Sponge on the Run, and Search of Search for which will be discussed. It will be discussed. Let's see. Let me see here. Okay, so let's go over the production. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie was long planned. Nickelodeon and Paramount Pictures had approached series creators Steven Hillenburg for a film based on SpongeBob SquarePants, but he refused for more than a year. Hillenburg was concerned after watching The Iron Giant and Toy Story with his son about the challenge of SpongeBob and Patrick doing something more cinematically consequential and inspiring without losing what he called the SpongeBob cadence. Hillenburg believed that the film's story had to be SpongeBob in a great adventure. That's where the comedy's coming from. Having these two naive characters, SpongeBob and Patrick, a doofus, a doofus, and an idiot. Oh shit! Oh shit! On this incredibly dangerous heroic odyssey with all the odds against them. All right. In 2002, Hillenburg and the show's staff stopped making episodes to work on the film after the show's third season was completed. When news of production on the film was announced, the show's staff made a joke plot for the film, which had SpongeBob rescue Patrick from a fisherman in Florida, a reference to the plot of Finding Finding Nemo. Hillenburg directed and produced the film, and also co-wrote the screenplay with five other writer animators from the show. Um, yeah, Paul Tibbett, Derek Dryman, Aaron Springer, Kent Osborne, and Tim Hill over a 3-month period in a room of a former Glendale, California bank. At the beginning of the series, Hillenburg screened a number of silent shorts from Laurel and Hardy, Charlie Chaplin, and Buster Keaton, and work by two modern comic actors, Jerry Lewis and Pee Wee Herman. The legendary late great Jerry Lewis and Pee Wee Herman, both obvious inspirations for SpongeBob. For the film, the writers created a mythical hero's quest, the search for a stolen crown, which brings SpongeBob and Patrick to the surface. Bill Fagerbakke, yeah, Bill Fagerbakke, um, the voice of Patrick said about the plot, "It's just nuts. I'm continually dazzled and delighted with what these guys came up with." When the film was completed, Hillenburg wanted to end the series so it wouldn't jump the shark, citing concerns among Nickelodeon executives that the show had peaked. However, Nickelodeon could not afford to end the show due to its massive financial success. As a result, Hillenburg resigned as the series showrunner, appointing writer, director, and storyboard artist Paul Tibbett to succeed him. As Tibbett was one of Hillenburg's favorite crew members and was totally trusted, Tibbett would remain showrunner until he was succeeded in 2015 by the show's creative director Vincent Waller and staff writer Mark um, Ceccarelli. He also acted as an executive producer from 2008 to 2018, while Hillenburg was no longer involved in the writing process or directly overall running the show on a day to day basis. He reviewed each episode and submitted suggestions. I figured when I'm pretty old, I can still paint. I don't know about running shows. In 2015, Hillenburg returned to the show following the completion of the second film as an executive producer, having greater creative input and attending crew meetings until his death on November 26, 2018. The film was dedicated to Jules Angel. Angel was it Angel? Angel? However you pronounce it. Yeah, Jules Angel, Hillenburg's mentor when he studied experimental animation at the California Institute of the Arts, who died in 2003. Oh, damn. Damn, man. Damn. Damn, that sucks. Let's see. Let me see. Man. Okay, where were we? Yes. Um yes, so the film stars the series main cast members Tom Kenny as SpongeBob SquarePants, Gary the Snail, and the French narrator Bill Fagerbakke as Patrick Starr, Roger Bumpass as Squidward Tentacles, Clancy Brown as Mr. Krabs, Mr. Lawrence as Plankton, Jill Talley as Karen, Carolyn Lawrence as Sandy Cheeks, Mary Jo Catlett as Mrs. Puff, and Laurie Allen as Pearl Crabs. It also features D. Bradley Baker as Perkins, Carlos Carlos Alaz Rocky as King Neptune Squire, Aaron Hendry as the Cyclops, and Neil Ross as the voice of the Cyclops. In addition to the series cast, the film stars Scarlett Johansson, Jeffrey Tambor, and Alec Baldwin, who voice Princess Mindy, King Neptune, and Dennis, respectively, with a cameo appearance by David Hasselhoff. Johansson accepted the role because she liked cartoons and was a fan of the Ren and Stimpy show. When Tambor signed for his voice cameo, he noted the similarities between himself and the character King Neptune, including the fact that he himself is bald. Steven Hillenburg said that Baldwin recorded his character Dennis from New York over the phone. Hasselhoff accepted the role when his daughters Taylor Ann and Haley urged him, as the two were big fans of the show. Hasselhoff enjoyed his cameo, noting that to this day, kids would still recognize him from his cameo in the film, adding that they didn't see Baywatch and Knight Rider. The animation process of the film started with ideas drawn on post-it notes which the writers drew from, working from rough outlines rather than scripts, which made the humor more visual than verbal. The storyboard artists, including Sherm Cohen, then illustrated ideas conceived by the writers. Hillenburg and Dryman did the animatics for the film, taking over from Tom Yasumi and Andrew Overtoom in the series, both of whom worked on the film as animation timing directors. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie, like the series, was animated at Rough Draft Studios in South Korea. The animators worked semi-digitally with pencil drawn poses that would be composited into layouts in Photoshop. The series writer and storyboard artist Eric Weiss returned to do storyboards and character layout for the film after leaving the show for a year to work on Samurai Jack and Danny Phantom. He always wanted to be a featured animator, and the movie felt like I was on the character animation end. Describing the experience as a blast, it felt like coming home. Hillenburg enjoyed the process of making the film. The TV schedule is tight, and you don't always have a lot of time to work on your drawings. He appreciated the film's hand drawn animation. I think the movie's drawings are much superior than the TV show, although CGI animation was flourishing at the time of the film's release. There's a lot of talk there's a lot of talk about 2D being dead, and I hope people don't think that. Even Brad Bird is a proponent of 2D. He would agree with me that it's all about what you are trying to say. There are many ways to tell a story, and what's unique about animation is that there are many styles with which to tell a story. The the clay animation scenes were shot by um, Caballero, Mark Calabero, Mark Caballero, Seamus Walsh, and Chris Finnegan at Screen Novelties in Los Angeles. The film features live action scenes directed by Mark Osborne in Santa Monica, California. The ship used during the 30-second opening featuring the pirates singing the theme song was the Bounty. 180 foot, which is 55 meters long, enlarged reconstruction of the 1787 Royal Navy sailing ship HMS Bounty, built for mutiny. Mutiny on the Bounty. Oh shit. Oh no. Mutiny on the Bounty. Oh wow. That sounds terrible, man. That sounds very terrible if you ask me.
Oh my God!
All right, so yeah, the ship appeared in a number of other films, including Treasure Island, 1999, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, 2006, and Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. In film trailers, live action scenes were taken from Das Boot in 1981, The Hunt for Red October 1990, and U-571 in 2000. All right. David Hasselhoff made a cameo in the live action scenes, offering SpongeBob and Patrick a ride to Bikini Bottom. The scene was originally written before consulting Hasselhoff. Hillenburg was pleased with the storyboards. Lead storyboard artist Sherm Cohen noted the positive reaction among the film's storyboard artists after Hillenburg brought up the animatic animatic of the scene. Hillenburg and the staff were counting on casting Hasselhoff, who eventually agreed before seeing the script. Hillenburg said about the actor, he's a great guy. He was great at making fun of himself. The crew built a 750-pound, which is, um, yeah, 750-pound, 12-foot replica of Hasselhoff. The $100,000 The $100,000 replica was kept at Hasselhoff's home after completion of filming. He has said, "It freaked me out because it was so lifelike with teeth. When you touch it, it feels like real skin." Yeah. Hasselhoff filmed in cold water where he was pulled by a sled 9 yards across the sea. Damn. In late March 2014, Hasselhoff offered the replica up for auction with other memorabilia collected during his career. Julian's Auctions handled the item sale, which was expected to bring in between $20,000 and $30,000. Oof. Okay. All right. So let's go to the marketing. All right. So marketing promotion. Julia Pistor, the film's co-producer, said that although Nickelodeon wanted to sell character-themed backpacks, lunchboxes, and wristwatches, it respected Hillenburg's integrity and gave him control of Merchandising. Hillenburg had no problem with candy and ice cream tie-ins. Pistor said Pista said because of the treat's simplicity, but he had issues with fast food tie-ins. According to him, the latter was full of hidden additives. Pista noted that it was difficult to market an animated film without a fast food tie-in. Hillenberg insisted to keep his marketing strategy as is, saying we didn't want to suddenly become the people serving up food that's not good for you. Um, Especially kids. We work with Burger King and they make toys and watches, but to actually take the step of pushing the food, that's crossing the line. Variety estimated the media value, was $150 million. The film's promotion in the United States included a 12-figure toy line based on the film from Burger King, and about 4,700 of the chain stores perched 9 foot 2.7 meters inflatable SpongeBob figures on their roofs as part of the promotion. One of the largest one of the largest in fast food history. In the weeks since the start of the film's promotion, a number of inflatables had been stolen from roof Burger King roofs nationwide. Damn. The motive behind these particular thefts have not been determined, according to Burger King's chief marketing officer Russ Klein. The chain offered a year's supply of Whopper sandwiches as a reward for information leading to the return of inflatables stolen in November. One was found at one was found attached to a railing at the football field 50-yard line at in Iowa College. Another under a bed in Virginia, and a third with an attached ransom note. Stephen Simon and Conrad um, um, Mercure Mercure Jr. were arrested after stealing an inflatable from a Burger King in St. Mary's County, Maryland. That was stupid. That was fucking stupid. While facing up to 18 months in jail and a $500 fine, Simon and Mercure said they were proud of what they did. The following year, Burger King took extra security precautions in response to the SpongeBob incident. When stormtroopers from George Lucas's Star Wars guarded the delivery of Star Wars toys to a Burger King in North Hollywood as part of a promotion for the premiere of Revenge of the Sith. The Cayman Islands joined with Nickelodeon to create the first Cayman Island Sea school with SpongeBob for the film. The partnership was announced by Pilar Pilar Bush, however you pronounce the name, um, Deputy Director of Tourism of the Cayman Islands, on March 10th, 2004. As part of the agreement, the Cayman partnership was seen on Nickelodeon's global multimedia platforms, including on air, online, and in magazines. Other promotional partners included Mitsubishi, Holiday Inn, Kellogg's, like the cereal, yes, and Perfetti Van Mel. In 2005, Nickelodeon and Simon Spotlight released the book Ice Cream Dreams as a tie-in to the film. It was written by Nancy E. Krillick and illustrated by Heather Martinez, with Krillick and Derek Dryman as contributors. On October 15th, 2004, the film was the first to sponsor a NASCAR race. The 300-mile, 480 kilometers Busch Series SpongeBob SquarePants Movie 300 at Charlotte Motor Speedway in North Carolina. It was the first race of its kind where children at the racetrack could listen to a special kid-friendly radio broadcast of the event. Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson debuted a pair of SpongeBob SquarePants themed Chevrolet race cars in the race. Johnson's number 48 Chevrolet included an image of SpongeBob across the hood, and Bush's number 5 Chevrolet featured Patrick Star. Hmm. It doesn't say how I did in the box office, but okay, let's go to the reception. All right, the box office for the SpongeBob SquarePants movie earned $9,559,752 on its opening day in the United States, second behind National Treasure in 2004, which earned $11 million. It grossed a combined total of $32,018,216 during its opening weekend on 4,300 screens at 3,212 theaters, averaging $9,968 per venue. um, the film dropped an unexpected 44% over the Thanksgiving weekend and 57% the weekend after that. The opening weekend earned 37.48% of the film's final gross. It closed on March 24th, 2005, failing to gross out holiday animated competitors The Incredibles, 2004, 261 million $441,092, and the Polar Express, which came out the same year, 2004, with $183,373,735. It was still profitable for distributor Paramount Pictures. Yes, Paramount Pictures and producer Nickelodeon Movies, earning $85,417,988 in the United States and $140,161,792 worldwide on a budget of $30 million. Critical response. Um, critical response. Let me see. Sorry about that. Um, on a review aggregator website, Rotten Tomatoes, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie holds an approval rating of 68% based on 124 reviews with an average rating of 6.3 out of 10. The critical consensus reads, in quote, surreally goofy and entertaining for both children and their parents. Metacritic, which Metacritic assigned the SpongeBob SquarePants movie a score of 67 out of 100 based on 32 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B plus on an A to F scale. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the film 3 stars out of 4, calling it the Good Burger of animation. Oh shit! Oh man, the Good Burger of animation. Damn. Um, Plopping us down inside a fast food war being fought by sponges, starfish, and crabs, and tiny plankton, and the mighty King Neptune. Ed Park of the Village Voice wrote, in quote, no Pixar, no problem. An unstoppable good mood generator. The resolutely 2D, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie has more yucks than Shark Tale 2004 and enough soul to swallow the Polar Express whole. Michael Rechtshafen of the Hollywood Reporter gave the film a positive review, calling it an animated adventure that's funnier than Shark Tale and more charming than the Polar Express. Randy Cordova of the Arizona Republic said, like the TV show is based on, it's a daffy, enjoyable creation. Jamie Bernard of the New York Daily News gave the feature a score of 3 out of 4. It's not The Incredibles or one of those animated features that spent zillions on character design, pedigree, and verisimilitude, but SpongeBob is a sweet, silly thing with a child friendly aesthetic all its own. Will Lawrence of Empire gave the film 4 out of 5 stars, calling it a film for donors, anyone who enjoys a break from reality. Um, Lisa Schwartzbaum of Entertainment Weekly gave it a B- grade. The best moments in his SpongeBob SquarePants first movie outing are those that feel most TV like. Just another day in the eternally optimistic undersea society created with such contagious silliness by Steven Hillenberg. Desson Desson Thompson of the Washington Post enjoyed the film. You gotta love SpongeBob, coolest sponge in the sea. Although this one has a suspiciously manufactured look. Carla Mayer of the San Francisco Chronicle wrote that the SpongeBob SquarePants movie retains the 2D charm of the hugely popular Nickelodeon cartoon, but adds a few tricks, a little 3D there, a little David Hasselhoff there. The series' appeal never lay in its visuals. However, SpongeBob endeared itself to kids and adults through sweetness and cleverness, also abundant here. A.O. Scott of the New York Times gave it a score of 4 out of 5. If you are tired of bluster and swagger, SpongeBob is your man. Tom Tom Morstad of the morning the Dallas Morning News also gave the film a B- grade. Being so good is what led to making the movie. And it's also the reason that many small screen episodes are better than this big screen venture. Okay. Some reviews praised David Hasselhoff's appearance in the film. Jennifer Frey of the Washington Post wrote, "Getting to see the hairs on Hasselhoff's back, um, um, thighs, and calves, magnified exponentially, is perhaps a bit creepy. Like the movie, it's all in good fun." Cinema Blend founder Joshua Tyler called Hasselhoff's role the best movie cameo I've seen since Fred Savage stuck a joint in his crotch and played a clarinet to charm the resulting smoke like a snake. Let's see. There's plenty to treasure in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, but for all the spit and polish animation and the roll licking soundtrack, um, this isn't the yellow one's most sterling hour or 80 minutes. David Eldenstein of Slate criticized the film's plot, calling it a big, heavy anchor of a story structure to weigh him down. Mike Clark of USA Today called it harmlessly off the cuff, um, but facing far more pedigreed multiplex competition, SpongeBob barely rates as okay when compared with The Incredibles. A reviewer noted in Time Out London, anyone expecting anything more risky will be sadly disappointed. In his variety review, Tom McCarthy said the film takes on rather too much water during its extended feature length submersion. Let's see. In honor of Steven Hillenberg, a nonprofit reanimated collaboration project titled The SpongeBob SquarePants Movie Rehydrated was released online on May 1st, 2022. Similarly to 3GI's Shrek Retold collaboration, the video consists of over 300 artists recreating the film's animation and audio in their own artistic styles. Amid the YouTube premiere, the video was taken down by Paramount Global due to copyright laws. As a result, the hashtag Justice for SpongeBob became trending on actually it's X now, formerly Twitter, against Paramount's action. The video was restored the following day. All right, so yeah, um, okay, so let's go to the next movie in the SpongeBob SquarePants franchise. Um, Here we go. SpongeBob. Hold on. So the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of the Water is a 2015 American animated adventure comedy film based on the television series SpongeBob SquarePants, directed by series veteran Paul Tibbitt. The film stars the show's regular cast alongside Antonio Banderas in a live action role and Matt Berry as a new character. The plot follows Burger Beard, a pirate who steals the Krabby Patty secret formula using a magical book that makes any text written upon it come true, leading SpongeBob SquarePants and his friends to travel to the ocean's surface to confront Burger Beard and retrieve the formula. It is the second theatrical movie. Theatrical film based on the series, following the SpongeBob SquarePants movie in 2004. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay. And all right. So the film was written by Jonathan Abel and Glenn Berger, adapted from a story by Tibbet and SpongeBob creator Steven Hillenberg. As with the first film, the final act places the animated characters in a live action world. These scenes were directed by Mike Mitchell and were filmed in Savannah and Tybee Island, Georgia. Filming began in September 2013 and was completed in November that year. The film is dedicated to Ernest Borgnine, the voice of Mermaid Man, who died in 2012. It also features the final film role of Tim Conway, the voice of Barnacle Boy, who died in 2019. Damn. The SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of the Water was released in the United States on February 6th, 2015 by Paramount Pictures. It received generally positive reviews from critics and was a box office success, earning $325 million against its $74 million budget and becoming the highest grossing film in the series. Hmm. Let's see. All right, let's go to the production. Following the release of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie in 2004, producer Julia Julia Pistor, stated that a sequel film was unlikely despite its successful box office performance. In a 2009 interview with Digital Spy, former SpongeBob SquarePants writer and executive producer Paul Tippett was asked about the possibility of a sequel. He said, I think that they are talking about doing that, but I haven't signed up for anything. We just feel like we've told so many stories, and SpongeBob exists so well in this short 11-minute form. He also stated that making another film was a huge challenge. However, Tippett said a sequel is not impossible, saying, I wouldn't say no, but I don't know if there will be another one. In 2010, Nickelodeon was reportedly approaching the crews of the show to make another film adaptation. The network had long wanted to partner with sister company Paramount Pictures to release another SpongeBob SquarePants film to help reinvigorate the series' declining ratings. Internal disagreement delayed collaborations. Let's see. On March 4th, 2011, the Los Angeles Times reported Paramount had another SpongeBob picture in development. In July the same year, Paramount formed its new animation unit, Paramount Animation. In the wake of the commercial and critical success of the 2011 animated film Rango, and the end of the studio's distribution deal with DreamWorks Animation, Philip um, Felipe Darman, Viacom's then president and CEO, officially announced on February 28th, 2012, that a sequel film was in development and was due for an unspecified 2014 release. Darman said the new film will serve to start off or be one of our four films that starts off our new animation effort. Nickelodeon expected the film to do much better in foreign box offices than the 2004 feature, considering the channel's increasingly global reach. Um, Production was announced on June 10th, 2012, under the title The SpongeBob SquarePants Movie 2, which some trade publications began referring to as SpongeBob SquarePants 2. Series creator Steven Hillenburg, who left his role as the series showrunner in 2004 following the release of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, would return as the film's executive producer and function as a co-writer for the film's story. Let's see. All righty then. All right, casting. The main cast of the television series reprised their roles for the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of the Water. Sponge Out of Water, excuse me. In August 2013, casting directors from Marty Sue scenes. No, Marty Sue casting began casting calls for the background extras for the live action scenes. On September 21st, 2013, it was reported that Spanish actor Antonio Banderas had been cast for a live action role as Burger Beard the Pirate. Animations, the 2D hand drawn animated sequences for the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water were done in South Korea by Rough Draft Studios, Korea. Hmm. As did its predecessor, the film combines traditional animation with live action and also used computer generated imagery, which is what CGI stands for, which was handled by um, um, Ilora V. FX in Melbourne, Australia, to render the characters in 3D. In a 2012 preview of upcoming Paramount films, the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water was exhibited as a 3D feature film with CGI like animation. Following the release of SpongeBob SquarePants 4D, the Jelly, the Great Jelly Rescue, um, 2013, a 3D short film was released at the Nickelodeon Suites Resort, Orlando. Executives talked about continuing the use of 3D in the film. The SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water contains a stop motion sequence that was animated by Screen Novelties. The company had previously produced a clay animation scene for the first SpongeBob SquarePants film, the mixed media opening of the television episode Truth or Square, and the entirety of the stop motion special It's a SpongeBob Christmas. In March 2014, Paramount screened live action footage from the film during the National Association of Theater Owners event, CinemaCon. News websites report that the film would be CGI animated. An Internet Movie Database staff member commented when Paramount announced there would be a new SpongeBob SquarePants movie. The assumption was that it would be animated like all the other incarnations of SpongeBob. The very brief footage from tonight's presentation suggested otherwise. It looked as though this was a CGI live action hybrid akin to Alvin and the Chipmunks, Yogi Bear, the Smurfs, etc. In an article published by ComingSoon.net, author Edward Douglas said the film's CGI footage looks weird. Felipe Darman said the CGI elements are intended to refresh and give another boost to the characters. Filming the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water includes live action scenes that were directed by Mike Mitchell. Filming began on September 30th, 2013, and finished on November 5th of the same year. Filming was done at multiple locations in Savannah and Tybee Island, both of which are in Georgia. On July 11, 2013, the Savannah Film Office announced the filming of live action scenes in Savannah for 40 days. Will Hammergren, Savannah Film Office's location specialist, said the film was expected to contribute $8 million to the city's economy, including hotel bookings of at least 5,600 rooms, 5,600 room nights. On September 30th, 2013, the start of production filming was interrupted by the dismissal of the film services director Jay Self. According to a memorandum from Joe Shea um, Joe Shea Rouse, Bureau Chief of the Leisure Services Department of Savannah. Self was fired for his failure to properly plan and manage the arrangement for the movie. The memo accused Self of shortcomings surrounding the filming and also cited complaints from residents of Savannah. Another reported reason for Self's dismissal was a disagreement between Paramount and the Savannah Film Office about the process of negotiating, compensation for local businesses with Paramount to cover losses of trade during filming. To prepare the filming location in the downtown Savannah, the film crew painted storefronts along um, Broughton Street to resemble a coastal community called Salty Shoals. That's Shoals. Savannah College of Art and Design's Jen Library and Trustees Theater was converted into a maritime museum. In August 2013, Paramount approached SCAD to use the Jen Library for a scene. The studio's art department transformed the building. It remained open to students during filming, Self said. The changes are temporary, with all buildings scheduled to be restored to their original colors after filming is complete. Filming in downtown Savannah began on October 9th. Parts of Broughton Street were closed until October 18th. Antonio Banderas was filmed on a pirate ship with wheels for a car chase scene. At some point, a film crew member caused an accident that damaged a downtown building, and a woman was taken to a hospital. Filming in the city ended on October 18th when a raffle was also held. The prizes included a SpongeBob SquarePants themed party, bicycles, a vacation, dinner at a local bistro, gift certificates, and a 60-inch television, 1.5 meters. The production received mixed responses from businesses located in filming areas. Businesses were concerned about filming in October because that month is a big month for merchants along Broughton Street. Some merchants suggested filming in February, July, or August instead. Live action filming resumed on October 21st on Tybee Island. The producers were permitted to film on the island after meetings held at the local city hall. Businesses and residents raised concerns about the possible effects of the filming and about sea turtle safety. Musician slash a member of the brand Guns N' Roses was seen on set at Taipei Pier, although he does not appear in the final film. The film crew later moved to Strand Avenue, where they filmed a chase scene with extras riding bicycles. Okay, now we go to the reception of the box office of the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, which grossed $162.9 million in North America and $162.1 million in other territories. A total worldwide gross of $325.1 million against a budget of $74 million. It has outgrossed the first SpongeBob movie, which made $140.2 million worldwide, and is the second highest grossing film based on an animated television show, behind the Simpsons movie, $527.1 million. Deadline Hollywood calculated the net profit of the film to be $99.8 million. North America, the Simpsons movie, I'm sorry, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, was originally expected to gross around $35 million in its opening weekend. However, it exceeded expectations on its opening day. On its opening weekend, the film grossed $55.4 million, played in 3,641 theaters, with a $15,206 per theater average, and finished in first place at the box office, exceeding American Sniper, which grossed $23.3 million, marking the first time in 4 weeks a film other than American Sniper was the top grossing film. In its second weekend, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, um, earned $31.4 million, marking a 43.2% decline and dropping to number three, overtaken by 50 Shades of Grey and Kingsman: The Secret Service. On its third weekend, the film stayed at number three, grossing $16.5 million. On its fourth weekend, the film was number three again with $10.8 million. Wow. Other territories and foreign markets, the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water was released for the 3-day weekend of January 30th, 2015, a week ahead of North America release, and earned a gross of $8 million, $6.7 million of which came from a strong debut in Mexico. For its second weekend of February 6th, 2015, the film earned a gross of $16.2 million, playing in theaters in 25 markets. The film opened at number one in Brazil and Spain, grossing $4.6 million and $1.9 million, respectively. It also remained at number one in Mexico, earning $2.4 million. In the UK, the film was released on March 27, 2015, in time for the Easter school holidays and opened at number three behind Cinderella and Home. Critical response on the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 80% of 102 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 6.5 out of 10. The website's consensus reads, in quote, the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water won't win over many viewers who aren't fans of the show, but for the converted, it's another colorful burst of manic fun. Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 62 out of 100, based on 27 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B on an A plus to F scale, a grade down from the B plus earned by the previous film. Andrew Barker of Variety praised the film for never even feigning a lick of seriousness. Hmm. He felt the film was too long and the CGI sequences are inferior to the traditionally animated ones. Barker said the film would prove popular among the franchise's key grade schooler and head shop owner demographics. Michael Retzschaffen of The Hollywood Reporter said the film's two animation styles failed to create a cohesive whole in spite of all the inspired non sequiturs. The live action CG stuff never satisfying jibes with the traditional nautical nonsense down below. And that although the film was inferior to the first one, it would likely be a box office success, which it has. Barbara Van Denberg, of the Arizona Republic, gave the film 3.5 stars out of 5, saying the plot is straightforward, predictable, and slight no more intricate a plot than a 15-minute TV episode would have. It's the freewheeling madness of its execution that makes the movie such a trip as an acid trip. Elizabeth Weitzman Elizabeth Weitzman of the New York Daily News gave the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water 4 stars out of 5, saying, in quote, the spirit of the series remains true. Cheerfully random jokes, blink and you'll miss them references, and above all, a silly, stubbornly sentimental streak that only the crabbiest cynic could dismiss. Colin Covert of the Star Tribune gave the film 3 out of 5, saying it weaves a silly and often funny spell. It's a scrappy um, little B minus movie that zips along rather entertainingly. Jen Chaney of the Washington Post gave the film 2 stars out of 4, saying, "There's something about this project that, despite checking all of the requisite plot and sensibility boxes, doesn't convey as an organic work of SpongeBob ishness." Nicholas Rapold of the New York Times gave the film a positive review, saying, while less fluid and fresh than its 2004 predecessor, um, the new film displays um, enough nutty writing and sheer brio to confirm the stamina of the enduring and skillfully voiced characters. Gwen, um, um, IHNAT of the AV Club gave the film a B plus, saying the visual effects and fast and furious quips combined for that rarest of releases, one that both parents and kids can enjoy, leaving viewers of any age hoping that the next SpongeBob movie isn't an entire decade off. Alonzo um, Duraldi of the Rap wrote in quote, "The jokes are consistently hilarious with enough variety to tickle the funny bones of old salts and young fishies alike." Oh shit. Claudia Puig of USA Today gave the film 2 stars out of 4, saying the live action elements, mostly in the person of Antonio Banderas as cranky pirate Burger Beard, who spends most of his time addressing a flock of seagulls, don't mesh seamlessly with the animated sequences. It almost feels like 2 movies awkwardly melded together. John Semley of the Globe and Mail gave the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water 2.5 stars out of 4, saying it mostly nails what has always made the character and his brightly colored underwater world so endearing: the abundant innocence, the welcome lack of cynicism, and the out and out stupidity. Christy Leemeyer of RogerEbert.com gave the film 2.5 stars out of 4, saying it remains true to the surrealism of its animated television roots, but it also tries to force a live action element which isn't as comfortable as isn't as comfortable a fit as a certain pair of symmetrical trousers. Oh wow. All right, so let's go to the accolades. So so the movie, the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water, got a nomination for um the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards for favorite animated movie, and of course Nickelodeon Mexico Kids Choice Awards also got a nomination for favorite movie. British Academy Children's Awards, the SpongeBob movie SpongeBob Out of Water got a nomination for BAFTA Kids Vote Feature Film. And of course, the 43rd Annie Awards, Bryce Mallia, Paul Buckley, Brent Droog, Alex White, and Jonathan Freisler got a nomination for animated effects in an animated production. Tom Kenny got a nomination for voice acting in an animated feature. So there you go, right there. Let's see. Let's see. There's other. Um, yeah. So the third movie, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, is a 2020 American animated adventure comedy film based on the television series SpongeBob SquarePants, written and directed by series co-developer and former writer Tim Hill, who co-wrote the story with Jonathan Abel and Glenn Berger. It stars the series regular voice cast, and includes new characters. Performed by Aquafina, Snoop Dogg, Tiffany Haddish, Keanu Reeves, Danny Trejo, and Reggie Watts. The film follows SpongeBob on a journey to Atlantic City to rescue his kidnapped pet snail, Gary. The film is dedicated to creator Steven Hillenberg, who died in 2018, and also served as an executive producer on the project. It is the third theatrical film based on the series, following Sponge Out of Water in 2015. Yeah. And yeah, there you go. All righty then. Development for a third SpongeBob film began in April 2015, 2 months after the release of the second film. By January 2016, Abel and Berger had been hired to write the film, and by April 2018, Hill had been hired as director. It is the first film in the franchise to be fully animated and stylized computer generated imagery. Let's see. As opposed to being entirely animated in 2D like the first film, or the mixing of 2D and CGI animation in the second film. Hans Zimmer composed the film's animation was provided by Micros Image. Originally slated for a worldwide theatrical release by Paramount Pictures, plans were changed due to the COVID-19 slandemic era. The film was released theatrically in Canada on August 14th, 2020, and digitally on Netflix in other territories on November 5th, 2020. It was released as a premium video on demand offering and a Paramount Plus launch title in the United States on March 4th, 2021. Sponge on the Run received generally mixed reviews from critics and was nominated for favorite animated movie at the 2022 Kids Choice Awards. A fourth film, The SpongeBob Search for SquarePants, was released on December 19th, 2025 of last year, which I'll talk about that next. All right, let's go to the production. In a February 2015 interview discussing the SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water's success at the box office, Megan Colligan, president of worldwide distribution and marketing at Paramount Pictures, stated the possibility of a third film was a good bet. In another interview, Paramount Vice Chairman Rob Moore marked, hopefully it won't take 10 years to make another film, in reference to the time passed between the SpongeBob SquarePants movie 2004 and its 2015 sequel. Later in 2015, it was revealed that Paramount was developing sequels to its franchises, including another SpongeBob film. The film was initially scheduled for release in 2019 before being delayed to 2020. By January 2016, Jonathan Abel and Glenn Berger, who previously wrote for Sponge Out of Water, had been hired to write the film. In March 2017, Paramount president Mark Evans announced that the studio would work closely with Viacom on its TV brands, including the SpongeBob film. During the same month, Yahoo Entertainment stated that the film would be titled The SpongeBob Movie. Hmm. Um, In April 2018, the film's official title was revealed as the SpongeBob movie. It's a Wonderful Sponge, and SpongeBob co-developer Tim Hill was announced as director and writer for the film. It was reported later in the year that the film would be written by Abel Berger and Michael uh, Van. The principal cast: Tom Kenny, Fagerbakke, Clancy Brown, Mr. Lawrence, Roger Bumpass, uh, Carolyn Lawrence, Jill Talley, Mary Jo Catlett, and Laurie Allen all reprised the roles as their respective characters from the series and the previous films, including Antonio Raul Corbo, Nik- Nikita um, Nikita Kalain, Jack Gore, Presley Williams, and Jason Maybaum as young SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, and Squidward, respectively. In in October 2018, at the View conference in Turin, Italy, Paramount Animation president Mary Marielle Soria revealed the plot for the film. The same day, Hans Zimmer was announced as the composer for the film, while Paris and Montreal based Micros Image would handle animation for the film, which would be created entirely through computer animation. On June 12th, 2019, it was announced that Reggie Watts and Aquafina were added to the cast, while Cindy um, Lauper, and Rob Hyman, who wrote a song for the SpongeBob musical, would be writing original songs for the film. It was also announced that Mia Michaels would be choreographing, and Ali D. Theodore would add an original song for the film. The next day, Snoop Dogg announced on Jimmy Kimmel Live that he would be in the film. Um, on November 12th, 2019, it was revealed that the film's title was changed from It's a Wonderful Sponge to Sponge on the Run, along with the casting of Keanu Reeves. On January 22nd, 2019, it was confirmed that production on the film had officially begun. Like its predecessors, the film includes live action sequences, and unlike the previous films, the animated sequences of the film are entirely computer animated. Larry Fong was initially reported to serve as the film's cinematographer, but for unknown reasons, Peter Lyons Collister ended up solely with the credit. Oh man. Alrighty. Interscope Records released the film's soundtrack on March 5th, 2021. Artists who are part of the original soundtrack include Becky G, Sway Lee, J Balvin, Tiger, Little Mosey, Taney, Weezer, Snoop Dogg, The Flaming Lips. Oh shit. This is the funniest name that I ever heard. Let me see. And Kenny G. Cindy Lauper, however you pronounce it, and Rob Hyman also co-wrote the track "Secret to the Formula." Previous material that are part of the film but not on the soundtrack album are "Slow Ride" by Foghat, "Dreamweaver" by Gary Wright, Weezer's cover of the Aha song "Take on Me," and Kenny G's cover of My Heart Will Go On from the film Titanic. The score for the film was composed by Hans Zimmer and Steve Mazzaro. It marks as Zimmer's second score for a Nickelodeon film, following Rango, and the second score for a film based on an animated series after the Simpsons movie. All right, let's go to the reception. All right, so in the film's debut Canadian weekend, it grossed 80, $865,824 from 300 theaters. Since Canada's grosses are factored into American totals, Sponge on the Run finished first at the box office and had the highest weekend total for a film since the start of the slandemic. IndieWire estimated that had the film had a traditional North American theatrical release, it would have opened to 25 to $30 million, including a $3 million total from Canada. In its second weekend, despite being added to an additional 26 theaters, the film dropped 36% to $550,000, finishing second behind Unhinged. In its third weekend, the film made $400,000 from 314 theaters, then $345,000 in its fourth weekend for a month long running total of $3.6 million. All righty then. VOD rentals in its first weekend of digital release in the US. The film was the most rented title on Fandango Now, fourth on Google Play, and fifth on Apple TV. Critical response on the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes: 66% of 74 critics have given the film a positive review, with an average rating of 6.1 out of 10. The site's critics consensus reads, in quote, although its story may leave fans on the surface, the SpongeBob movie Sponge on the Run is a wondrous, wacky visit to Bikini Bottom that retains the charm of the original series. On Metacritic, it has a weighted average score of 65 out of 100 based on reviews from 20 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Writing for IndieWire, uh, David Ehrlich, David Ehrlich gave the film a grade of B minus and said even the weakest bits get by on good vibes and cleverness. Um, Keanu Reeves has become something of a human meme in recent years. Oh shit. Oh shit. That's funny. Oh man. But Sponge on the Run milks the actor's brand for a number of solid laughs. And the animation is detailed and inventive enough for the whole film to feel drenched in SpongeBob's demented energy. Writing for CTV News, Richard Krause gave the film 3.5 stars and wrote, in quote, Sponge on the Run brings with it the usual anarchy, inside jokes, and unexpected celebrity cameos. But at its little osmotic heart is SpongeBob, a character who belongs to the same genius of entertainers as Soupy Sales. Oh shit. Oh shit. That's funny. Oh man. That shit is funny. Anyway, Stan Laurel and and the late great Pee Wee Herman. Um, the Hollywood Reporter's David Rooney called the film fast, fun, and demented and wrote in quote, the technological overhaul from 2D doesn't diminish the vibrant personalities of the character and animation, and it's added an even trippier dimension to the surreal backgrounds, more immersive, if you will, even if its episodic action gets no prizes for storytelling discipline. Operator Bandari of the Global, no, excuse me, the Globe and Mail gave the film 1.5 out of 4 stars, writing in quote, I totally understand if the latest SpongeBob SquarePants movie spinoff will draw in longtime fans and new audiences brave enough to venture into a movie theater this Friday. However, for me and my 2 kids aged 10 and 8, this dive into the deep sea wasn't as thrilling an adventure as we'd hoped for. At the 19th Visual Effects Society Awards, the special effects team was nominated in the category Outstanding Animated Character in an Animated Feature. The film was nominated for 4 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards in 2022, 1 for Favorite Animated Movie, and 3 for Favorite Voice in an Animated Movie. Tom Kenny as SpongeBob, Aquafina as Otto, and Keanu Reeves as Sage. All right, so let me see. Um, and finally, the movie that recently came out last year during the Christmas month, the SpongeBob movie Search for SquarePants is a 2025 American animated adventure comedy film based on the SpongeBob SquarePants television series created by Steven Hillenburg, directed by series veteran Derek Dryman. It stars the show's regular cast alongside George Lopez, Ice Spice, Arturo Castro, Sherry Cola, oh shit, Regina Hall, and Mark Hamill. The plot follows SpongeBob on a quest to prove his bravery by adventuring with the Ghost Pirate, the Flying Dutchman, through the underworld. It is the 4th theatrical based on the series, following 2020 Sponge on the Run. Um, yeah. So let's see. So the film was written by Pam Brady and Matt Lieberman from a story by Brady and series creators Mark Saccarelli and Kaz. It was first developed as a direct to streaming film focused on Mr. Krabs, but the project was later retooled into a theatrical feature with SpongeBob as the lead character instead. By April 2023, Dryman had been hired to direct the film. In July 2024, Hamill was revealed to be voicing the Flying Dutchman in the film in place of Brian Doyle Murray. John Debney composed the film's score after having previously scored 2015 Sponge Out of Water. Search for SquarePants premiered at the AFI Film Festival on October 26, 2025, before holding a premiere in New York City on December 17th, and was theatrically released by Paramount Pictures in the United States on December 19th. The film received mostly positive reviews from critics and has grossed one 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 $112.4 million worldwide. And and guess what the budget for the film was? $64 million. It made back its money. I mean, come on. It made back its money. Don't worry. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on a second. The added actors that was in there that was in the movie are George Lopez as J.K. Fishlips, a fish executive at Paramount. Isis Ice Spice Gaston as a ticket taker fish. Arturo Castro as a Santa Monica ride operator. Sherry Cola as a studio spokesperson, and a Krusty Krab patron. Oh boy. All right. Let's go to the production. All right, so the film initially began development as a direct to streaming film focused on Mr. Krabs, coinciding with the franchise's character focused Netflix film Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie 2024, the Plankton movie 2025. The project was reworked into a theatrical feature with SpongeBob as the lead character. After Paramount executives saw the first draft of the streaming version. In February 2022, the fourth theatrical SpongeBob SquarePants film was officially confirmed to be in development. In April 2023, during Paramount Pictures CinemaCon panel, it was announced that the film would be titled The SpongeBob Movie Search for SquarePants, with series veteran Derek Drymon set to direct the film. The screenplay was written by Pam Brady and Matt Lieberman, with a story by Mark Ceccarelli, Cass, and Brady. Brady, Lisa Stewart, and Aaron Dim serve as producers. Paramount Animation and Nickelodeon Movies produced in association with Domain Entertainment and MRC. In April 2024, it was reported that the show's regular voice cast of Tom Kenny, Clancy Brown, Roger Bumpass, Bill Fagerbake, Carolyn Lawrence, and Mr. Lawrence will reprise their roles. At San Diego Comic Con in July 2024, it was announced that Mark Hamill was voicing the Flying Dutchman in place of his longtime voice actor Brian Doyle Murray from the series. In June 2025, at the Annecy, however you pronounce this, yeah, International Animation Film Festival, ANNECY. ANSI and Annecy, however you pronounce it, Animation Film Festival. It was announced that Regina Hall, Sherry Cola, Arturo Castro, George Lopez, and Ice Spice were cast in the film. Wait, wait. Regina Hall. Regina Hall plays as a Bob the Flying Dutchman's assistant. Oh boy. All right. Let me see. All right. So Real FX Animation was the main animation provider for the film. Liz Hemi served as the visual effects supervisor for the film. Visually, Drummond wanted to avoid hyperrealism or stylized CGI meant to mimic 2D animation, inspired by 60s plasticware and toys. He directed Real FX to create a style that he felt looked more handmade and true to SpongeBob. This philosophy extended to every aspect of the film's visuals and encouraged the team to dial back realistic textures that they felt could be distracting and too incongruent with SpongeBob's cartoony world. Drawing from the series past, mixed media became intrinsic to the visual language. Drymon embraced imperfections and said, Visual inconsistency isn't a flaw to be corrected. It's a tool for comedy, particularly in a world that thrives on surprise and absurdity. Excuse me. The visual palette of the film was drawn from SpongeBob and various live action inspirations, such as Sam Raimi and the Coen Brothers film, Pirates of the Caribbean, and 3 O'Clock High, 1987. Head of story Mark O'Hare said, in quote, "We're making fun of these movies, but also honoring them," and added, in quote, "The contrast between SpongeBob's world and those dynamic 3D cinematic styles is a big part of the fun. To emulate the feeling of Bikini Bottom stretching endlessly like it often does in the series, the team had to dress environments to camera almost all the time, as opposed to building a set, then shooting in it like in most other CG productions." All right, so the music, John Debney was confirmed to compose the score for the film in April 2015 after having previously composed the score for the SpongeBob movie Out, Out Sponge Out of Water. Ice Spice performed an original song for the film Big Guy, which was released in November 2025. It is not included on the film's soundtrack. The soundtrack was released on December 19th, 2025 on MOD providers by Milan Records and Paramount Music. Damn. As of January 4th, 2026, which was my birthday, my 41st birthday, the film has grossed $57.6 million in the United States and Canada and 54.7 million. No, excuse me, 54.7. Oh, yeah, $54.7 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $112.3 million. In the United States and Canada, the SpongeBob movie Search for Squarepants was released alongside Avatar, Fire and Ash, The Housemaid, which flopped, um, and David and was projected to gross $15 to $20 million from 3,557 theaters. The film made $6 million on its first day, including $1.4 million from Thursday night previews. It went on to debut to $16 million, finishing in fourth behind Fire and Ash, David and the Housemaid. Oh boy. Critical response on the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 81% of 53 critics' reviews are positive, with an average rating of 6.5 out of 10. The website's consensus reads, "A self-contained adventure with spiffy animation and a sweet message embedded in its goofy gooberness. The search for SquarePants is one of SpongeBob's most delightful big screen outings yet." Metacritic, which uses a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 65 out of 100 based on 17 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A minus on an A plus to F scale, the highest of the franchise, while those surveyed by PostTrack gave it a 70% overall positive score, with 44% saying they would definitely recommend the film. Justin Lau of the Hollywood Reporter gave the film a positive review, saying that the film easily delivers another rib tickling, delightfully frantic fourth installment of the series. Chris Wasser of the Sunday Independent gave the film 3 stars out of 5, writing, "This vibrant cartoon adventure is as wacky as you'd expect. And a 4 star out of 5 review on the Irish Times, Tara Brady wrote that the visual gags were fresh, the jokes were funny, the world building was disarmingly um, buoyant, and the musical cues were playful. Derek Smith of Slant Magazine gave the film 2.5 stars out of 4, writing that the film was dotted with the wacky humor and ingenious puns that the fans of the series have come to expect. Um, Matt Zoller's sites of RogerandEbert.com gave the film 4 stars out of a possible 4, writing that there is no such thing as too many butt jokes, adding that the movie averages 1 butt joke every 5 minutes. Oh shit! Oh man! Tim Grish Tim Grierson of Screen Daily gave the film a positive review, writing that some of the jokes can get a bit tedious, though said the film's adolescent tone was never cruel or obnoxious. Um, in Indie Wire's Allison Foreman gave the film a grade of B, writing that while the comedy is not as dark as the series' Golden Age, it casts a wide tonal net and catches a balanced effort that she says is both familiar and fresh with an appealing that could work for any one of SpongeBob's ages. In a positive review for the film verdict, Alonzo Duraldi said that SpongeBob learns there's more than um, um, daring do involved in becoming a big guy, and said that the message never overwhelms the wacky comedy. Um, the film also received some negative reviews. Brandon Yu of the New York Times wrote that the movie is bad on its own terms, mainly for its cynical philosophy of children's entertainment. Alastair Harkness of The Scotsman gave the film a rating of 2 stars out of 5, writing that there's no joy or craft in the jokes on offer. It's just a barrage of zaniness, though he stated that there's nothing wrong with providing pure cinematic silliness for 5, 6, and 7 year olds. Fred Topol of United Press International gave the film a negative review, writing that the film was a step down for SpongeBob. Joshua Ambonu of In Session Film gave the film a grade of C, calling the film an aggressively average venture and writing that the cartoon Sponge's latest film outing couldn't be more forgettable on the whole. Some reviewers criticized the film's choice to focus on a smaller number of characters rather than utilize the rest of the franchise's cast. Justin Lau of The Hollywood Reporter suggested that longtime fans and be may be understandably disappointed by the decision to elbow aside series regulars. Pearl Sandy Plankton and Karen writing for The Daily Beast. Barry Levitt noted, series stalwarts like Mrs. Puff appear only in a single shot, though she gets a half-hearted shout-out in Big Guy. Sandy Cheeks and Plankton, fresh off their own movies, are reduced to cameos, and Teen Whale Pearl is nowhere to be found. And of course, the annual, well, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what's going on with the Annie Awards and stuff, man. It's still pending right now, so there you have it right there. Okay, let's get to. Hold on a second here. Um, as a matter of fact, let me see. You know what? Um, you know what? I'm going to save the old cart. I'm going to save the old cartoon show Snorks for a future episode, man, because it's already past 10:06 or 10 o'clock already. So I'm gonna, instead of me going to the TV checkouts, I'm gonna go straight to the video games chamber. All right. I know there's some video game news that I want to actually do right off the back actually. So if I don't get to um go over Snorks, the TV cartoon, that means I'm saving that topic for another time, and the SpongeBob cartoon series for another time as well. So there you go. There you go right there. And let's get to it. Video games chamber. Okay, time for some gaming news. Time for some gaming news, man. Let's get to hold on a second. What's going on here? Hold on a sec. All right. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm looking for a gaming topic that I'm looking for. All right. Let's get into this actually. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Um and this is according to the Video Games Chronicle. Um so let's get into this actually. It could be argued that it was the release of Forza Horizon on PlayStation and not the news that Halo is coming to it that herald the real end of the console war. Halo's brand power has been on the wane for some time now, especially given the lukewarm reception to Halo Infinite when it was released 4 years ago. Every time a Forza Horizon game is released, however, it's always up there as a legitimate game of the year contender. All five entries in the series to date have enjoyed Metacritic scores of 85 or more, with the last three games scoring in the 90s, making it one of the strongest strings in Xbox's bow during its more troublesome periods. Indeed, at a time when Xbox was criticized for the output of its games, both in terms of quality and quantity, something considered less an, of an issue now. Forza Horizon has been the series that continually provided the exception to the rule. It's Playground Games, not Halo Studios, that has been doing most of the heavy lifting to keep Xbox's reputation aloft. Then in 2025, the unthinkable happened as Forza Horizon 5 was released on PS5, which is PlayStation 5 actually. And that final thing, Xbox players could wave in the faces of their PlayStation owning friends. The fact that the fact they had an outstanding open world driving game and PS5 didn't was promptly taken away. Now with Forza Horizon 6 set to release next year as a timed Xbox exclusive with a PS5 version already confirmed to arrive at a later date, there can be absolutely no doubt that the landscape has changed. And I don't just mean the series moved from Mexico to Japan. Of course, it changes nothing from an Xbox console um, owner's point of view. Forza Horizon 6 is set to be released on Xbox Series next year, and it will still almost certainly be one of the best racing games of the entire generation, like 3, 4, 5 and 5 were before it, not least because it finally marks the series arrival in one of the most often requested regions. Hmm. Having already taken players to Colorado, France, Italy, Australia, and the UK and Mexico, Forza Horizon will finally travel to Asia for the first time, allowing players allowing players to take in sights and sounds of picturesque Japan. As with previous Horizon games, it won't be a one for one replica of the country like you see in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but will almost certainly instead offer a sort of best of version of Japan, with notable landmarks shuffled around and placed close together. Much like Forza Horizon 4 let you drive from Edinburgh Castle to the Lake District in around 5 minutes. Playground Games has confirmed that its new Japan map will include such sites as Tokyo city streets and Fuji. Mount Fuji, yes. Even though in real life it would take 2 hours to drive there. An hour if your car is particularly fast, which let's face it, it should be. What's particularly exciting is that every Forza Horizon game has a brilliant way of getting the player enthusiastic about both the region and the cars native to it in a way that doesn't jam it down like their throat, like Gran Turismo's infamous cafes, where someone walks up to you and delivers a monologue on the history of Romeo with all the passion of a Wikipedia entry. In Forza Horizon, the enthusiasm is integrated into the game in a more natural way through missions and other methods, and is more infectious as a result. As someone who isn't really much of a patrol head, I immediately forgot everything I was told in Gran Turismo 7. However, 4 years on from Forza Horizon 5, I still know the VW Beetle is loved in Mexico, where it's affectionately known as the Volcho. Ultimately, while there will doubtless be some poor souls out there upset that Xbox's most consistently critically acclaimed series will also be found sitting in PlayStation's garage, not garbage, but garage for the foreseeable future. The reality is that a larger player base means a stronger future for Forza and for a franchise frequently built around the idea of a massive festival celebrating cars. The more people who join in the party, the better. All right. Okay. Like I said before, I am going to save the Snorks and the SpongeBob cartoon series for a future episode. I'm not going to have time to get through this. So, I'm not going to have time to get through it. So, forgive me. So, there you go, right there. I'm going to wrap up right here, man. Okay. All right. Time for stream choices on the go. All right. Um, let's get to it right here, right now. Let's do this. All right, make sure you follow the entertainment review show Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast alongside with Facebook, Bluesky Social, Threads, and Instagram. The same goes for my other podcast shows, the Sports Edition show, um, excellent, fun, vibrant talks podcast, and Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast. And you can follow your host with the most, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. All right. Um, and also I like to actually mention, if you go to the link in bio, you're gonna see a whole list of audio streaming podcast feed links. All right, in the link tree. When you go there, you're gonna see Linktree / Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast 5. Click on there, you're gonna see a whole list. All right, a whole list, starting with Audible, Odyssey, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and a positive review on there. All right. It really helps the show grow, and it really helps me out as a host. And of course, for me, I'm really trying to grow. I'm really trying to grow these podcast shows, including this one right here. So there you go. And 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 of course, we're on Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Overhaul FM Podcast, Pandora, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podo Polo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podcatcher, Podcast Republic, Snip. You can also add the podcast to your Spotify playlist. Of course, press press the notification alerts so you'll be notified on when each episode will be uploaded to Spotify and streaming platforms. You can also listen to the episodes while you are in your cars, going to work, going to classes and college, or going to other destinations. And you can even listen to the podcast episodes while you are on your way home from those destinations. Um, yes, so Spotify for creators. You can listen on TuneIn Radio. You can listen on Fountain, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, the number one app where you can listen to your favorite music artists, such as rappers, R&B singers, pop stars in different music genres. Hip hop artists are included as well as your favorite AM and FM stations, radio stations to be exact. And you can listen to the episodes for free. You don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio. All you need to do is download iHeartRadio to your phones, such as iPhones, such as Android phones, followed by iPads, Android tablets. Laptops are included, such as Apple Mac laptops and alongside with Dell laptop models with Windows 10 and Windows 11. So there you go right there. Um and and of course make sure you click on the YouTube channel page of Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast. That's the entertainment YouTube channel for things to talk about in music, things to talk about in TV, movies, video games, everything else in between. Um, click click on and click on alerts so you be notified on when I'll be on the air via live stream with more video podcast episode live stream recordings. And of course, be sure to leave a like and a comment alongside with the topics, and tell me how you feel about the topics. If there's any TV shows, new or old, that you want me to go over and stuff like that, leave it in the comments on YouTube. And and of course, be sure to download your favorite episodes of the podcast. And of course, be sure to also share the Linktree link with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, people you are cool with from work, as far as your friends are included as well. And of course, like I said, enable alerts so you'll be able to be notified on video uploads alongside with alongside with alongside with sharing the videos. Very important. Spread the word. Word of mouth is important. And you can also check out new episodes on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays on every stream platform, including YouTube, whenever you get to listen, stream, and watch your podcasts. All right. Also, subscribe to my other YouTube channel pages, my sports YouTube channel page, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, alongside with G Money Stacks 555 for Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast episodes. 438 episodes already down in the books. I will be starting episode 439 on Wednesday, and of course, And of course, I will try my best to record my sports podcast episode. Um, and 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 yeah, that's about it for me, man. I am your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator to be exact. Rhymes with now or later. And I'd like to say thank you to every single one of you at home for listening. You could have listened to any other podcast in the whole world, but you chose to listen to this podcast as well. Um, Remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. It's not going to be given to you on a fucking silver platter. And find your niche, follow your goals and dreams, no matter what it is. Don't let anybody stop you from following your goals and dreams, whether it's podcasting, regardless if you're making money off of it or not, it doesn't matter. Now look, now look, you can also you can also you can also plan if you plan on starting a podcast, you can you make sure you be yourself behind the microphone, um alongside with recording your podcast topics in each episode. And be on your P's and Q's. Be on your P's and Q's is very important. Um, Consistency is very important. Um, and also remember, this is a This is a marathon, not a sprint. And of course, like I said, find your niche. Of course, be on your P's and Q's creatively, mentally. No, excuse me, creatively, e- ment- mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually that gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. All right. Like I said before, man, I'm not gonna have time to go over the Snorks cartoon series and the SpongeBob TV series due to time constraints. I will save those topics for a future episode. All right. So there you go right there. Cause I wanted to review the SpongeBob movie franchise actually. So there you go right there. So yeah. And I will see y'all next time. Stay tuned for more new topics in the next episode. And I hope y'all enjoyed your Christmas, your New Year's, and happy belated birthday to myself. I just turned 41 yesterday. I had I had two friends of mine that used to co-host my comedy podcast show, Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast, and maybe I may bring them back this year actually, depending on their work schedule. So yeah, so I could send them the StreamYard invite link. All right, so yeah, there you go right there. All right, I'm out of here. Peace and one love. I hope y'all bundle up. I hope y'all bundle up. Stay warm. If you have to do something important like go to work and stuff, make sure you bundle up, layer up with clothes like your sweaters, your your jogging sweatpants. Um, Two pairs of pants works, and of course you can layer up your gloves as well. I actually did that myself actually, and also be sure to be careful out there out on these streets though, man. Especially especially when it's weather related, and also be careful out there. It's flu season. Of course, make sure you cover yourself with a mask or a bandana, whatever you wear to cover your face and mouth and stuff. So there you go, right there. Um. So yeah. So yeah. There you have it. There you have it. I am going to see y'all on the flip side with more new episodes and stuff. Like I said, stay tuned for more new topics in the next episode. Peace and one love. Good night, everybody.